Who's going to be the best among the three rookies?
For me, it's going to be Kyler Murray. And here's why I believe that. I believe he's in the offense that's going to put up numbers. He's in the offense that's going to give him an opportunity to get statistics, put him in the best possible way to succeed from his position. Now, I don't think it turns into wins for the team. I don't think it necessarily makes the Arizona Cardinals more successful than the Washington Redskins would be, but I believe Kyler Murray will be the rookie of the year, whether it's because they have to come back because the team around him is not as good, or just being put in a position where you get an opportunity to air the ball out. You have a guy like David Johnson in the backfield. You go out and get some young wide receiver to add to Christian Kirk and Larry Fitzgerald. You also have a coach who believes in you. If you listen to a lot of the things coming from Jay Gruden, he's not so ready to put Dwayne Haskins in as the starter. He's talking about guys like Colt McCoy would start today. We know what Colt McCoy is. Case Keenum would be the next guy. We know what he is. From day one, Kyler Murray's had the support of the Arizona Cardinals organization as a starter and Cliff Kingsbury, and I believe that goes a long way when you're implementing game plans and trying to put a guy in the best possible spot to succeed.
Well, he might put up the better numbers. In fact, he will. He'll start more games. He'll be in the Rookie of the Year conversation, Kyler Murray. I think there's a good chance that Dwayne Haskins was the best player in this draft, that he could turn out to be the most valuable player in this last draft. Number one, he's a quarterback. Number two, playing in a real conference for a big-time program, he threw how many touchdowns, Ryan?
50.
Against how many interceptions?
7?
8.
8, I was close.
50 touchdowns to 8 interceptions.
4,800 passing yards.
And they were throwing the ball down the field all year. And he was a first-year starter. And he got better and better as the year went on.
Last 4 games were historic.
He got better and better as the year went on and played well under pressure. And played as a pro-style quarterback. And I agree. Look, the Big 12 has changed what pro style means. And in fact, people are kind of favoring that style now, even in the pros. And Haskins is not fast. He's not exactly a statue either. He can move around in the pocket.
It's not, to me.
He's big and strong with a big, accurate arm. And then beyond that, he has a certain level of confidence that borders on arrogance if you talk to him. That reminds me, as a young player, it's like Derek Jeter-ish. He believes every field he steps onto, he's the best dude on the field. And I think he gets his teammates to believe that, too.
So you get to compare him to Derek Jeter, but I can't compare people to Michael Jordan?
No. Derek Jeter ain't Michael Jordan, first of all. And second of all, I'm just talking about the attitude. Also, like, Jersey kid, grew up rooting for the home team, the whole thing. There are a lot of similarities with Jeter. I'm not the only one who's noticed it. Dwayne Haskins may not put up the numbers that Kyler Murray puts up this year, but Dwayne Haskins actually, by the end of the season, I think is the guy that people say that was the best quarterback taken.
They may get that feeling, right? We may watch him throughout the season and see him progress and see him in some spots where he does well and he makes some of those wild throws that we saw at Ohio State, and you get the feeling that Dwayne Haskins going forward may be the guy. He is more prototypical, even with the way that the new offenses are going in size, right, in stature. But Kyler Murray is special. Some of the things,
electric.
Yes, some of the things that you see from a Saquon standpoint, I think Kyler Murray possesses that type of speed, that type of escapability, and also, too, the type of arm and accuracy that he has. Baker Mayfield came in last year, and I said that he should have been the #1 overall pick. I had him ranked over Sam Darnold and all those guys, and I thought he had some stuff from a physical standpoint, and people pointed to his height and different things. I think Kyler Murray has more of that than Baker Mayfield.
Agreed, but would you also agree, because I was with you on Baker, and in fact, there was a change in the NFL last year in the draft, right? Because it was always, in the history of the NFL, Baker's never taken first. It's always a guy like Sam Darnold, because GMs want to cover their butts, so they check all the boxes. He's tall, he can throw, he can do this.
Like, if he misses, it's his fault, not mine.
Right. But last year it was, no, Baker is the guy, and he's better than all the other guys. And Saquon is the best player in the draft. He went, too, even though he's a running back. I was like, oh, look at that. Teams actually taking who they think is the best, not just trying to cover their butts. And then it followed with Kyler Murray. And I agree, he has all the things that Baker has. Maybe, I don't know, let's see if he can rally a team let's see if guys look, but he's more electric even. But he's shorter. And there is, to me, a critical, like there's a tipping point in terms of the height. And I don't know if Kyler Murray is there or not. I think Baker was, I felt comfortable going, I've seen guys Baker's size be elite, like Drew Brees, one of the greats of all time. Kyler Murray is almost getting into Doug Flutie territory. And Flutie was very good. Flutie was underrated. And I think Kyler can be a good quarterback, but there is a height under which.
I mean, there's a book written about it in sports, Gene. They talk about there being a level or a spot where things cut off to do certain things from a body type or body size or height or weight. And I think Kyler Murray is right there. But I believe because of some of those intangibles and then some of the measurables that don't have to do with size, that don't have to do with height, and the fact that he was born and bred to play this position. His dad figured this out a long time ago.
For a coach like this in this kind of offense.
Yeah, his dad said, you know what, you're going to be a quarterback. And they weren't worrying about how tall he would get. They weren't worried about how much he would weigh. They taught him, or his father taught him, how to play the position. And we saw those things materialize last year with Lincoln Riley.
Who has a bigger chip on his shoulder right now? Dwayne Haskins or anyone?
Oh, Dwayne Haskins, because you can't manufacture a chip. This has to be real. And when you saw him saying, say it, when he was saying, say it, because they wanted him to call his name. Like, I agree with all those things. And I was a guy who was on the Dwayne Haskins train as well, as I think he's going to be a very good quarterback. But initially, when this thing starts out, Kyler Murray is the guy that's more electric and more dynamic.
Thank you so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.